Luffy's goal has always been the same: become the Pirate King. But not every Straw Hat is helping him get there equally. Some of his crewmates are indispensable. Luffy couldn't take a step towards the One Piece without them, and the others are, let's just say, they could fall off the ship tomorrow and nothing would change. I'm ranking how useful the Straw Hats are to Luffy achieving his goals. We are ranking them on a scale of impossible, which means it's impossible for Luffy to become Pirate King without them. Then the next category, very useful, which means they are useful but it's not impossible for Luffy to become Pirate King without them. His chances may be slim but it's still possible. Then we have replaceable. They are useful but you could easily replace them and someone else could do what they do. Then we have barely, which means Luffy doesn't really need them. They are useful but Luffy could survive without them. Then the last category, deadweight. Characters in this section don't do shit. I'm pretty sure we all know who goes here, and if you don't, stick around to the end to find out. And yes, I know this sounds disrespectful and rude because the Straw Hats are not just tools for Luffy to use to accomplish his goals, but honestly I don't care, I'm still doing it.
I don't want peace, I want problems always.
First Straw Hat, Zoro. Zoro is the right-hand man, the swordsman and Luffy's enforcer, but his role on the crew is pure muscle. He's there to cut people up, tank attacks and of course get lost once in a while, but that's it. And yes, he's amazing at what he does, nobody is denying that, but if Zoro gets lost again and this time he can no longer be found, could someone else do what he does? And the answer is yes. As a matter of fact, I drafted out a list of characters that could replace Zoro and there won't even be a shift in power in the Straw Hat. First candidate that could replace Zoro, Katakuri. Especially now that Big Mom is dead. And yes, Big Mom is dead. We haven't heard about her for well over a year now and Buggy took her spot as Yonko, so it's safe to assume she's dead. Anyway, I'm pretty sure Luffy could convince Katakuri to join his crew because after their fights, Katakuri has some level of respect for Luffy. So with some convincing, a good reason and maybe a few speeches from Luffy, he could eventually convince Katakuri to join the Straw Hats. Another character that could replace Zoro is King. Even though Zoro defeated King and you could say Zoro is stronger than King, the strength gap is not insane. And King will definitely keep trying to get stronger. The only problem would be Luffy convincing King to join. As we all know, King is only loyal to Kaido, but who knows, King could respect Luffy because he defeated the man he respected. If that makes sense.
Bruh.
The chances of this happening might be low, but it's not impossible. Another candidate that could replace Zoro is Marco. Sure, he's retired, but we've already seen him help the Straw Hats once. Even though he's retired, he could do it out of gesture to Ace, same way Jimbe joined the Straw Hats. If Luffy is trying to take the world government down and he asks Marco for help, I'm pretty sure Marco will agree. Another candidate that could replace Zoro is Mihawk.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, that's Mihawk you are thinking of. There is no other Mihawk in One Piece. Mihawk is currently under Buggy Pirate, which means he doesn't really care about who the head is. As long as his goal and Luffy's goal align, he probably doesn't even care. But unlike Buggy, Luffy is stronger than Mihawk. Yes, Luffy demolishes Mihawk in a fight. The probability of Mihawk joining the Straw Hats is smaller than the possibility of Luffy convincing King to join him. But like I said, it's not impossible. So yes, Zoro is replaceable. Next Straw Hat, Nami. Nami is slept on in these conversations. She's not a fighter, she's not attacking Yonkos, but Nami brings being a top tier navigator to the crew. The New World is a place where just the weather can kill you. You could be chilling on the ship, basking in the sun and looking at the clear sky, but then in the next second, out of nowhere, the most catastrophic storm you've ever witnessed in your life happens. So having a navigator like Nami that can read the weather and predict if a storm is approaching is crucial. I don't want to put her in replaceable because it would be extremely difficult to find a replacement that is as skilled as Nami, so I'll put her in the very useful category, a level higher than Zoro because of how fast she can predict the weather and how fast she can analyze and provide a means of escape when they are in a storm. Next, Straw Hat's Sanji. Yeah, we put in Sanji in the same section with his boyfriend.
Why are you gay?
Let's be honest, Sanji doesn't do anything that can be done by someone else. As a heavy hitter, he can be replaced, and as a cook, he can be replaced too. Cooking is important, sure, especially if you have Luffy on your team, but it's not impossible to replicate. I'm pretty sure Usopp or Robin could make a decent meal. It won't be as fancy and as delicious as Sanji's cooking, but they'll survive. Next, Straw Hat, Chopper. Chopper is one of the most underrated members of the crew. I'm considering putting Chopper in the impossible section because back in Onigashima during the raid, a lot of samurais were infected with the Ice Oni virus. If the virus takes over their body entirely, they turn into these mindless monsters like a zombie. While in the heat of battle and also while infected with the virus too, he was able to come up with a cure for the virus. Plus, Chopper also saved Nami's life back in Drum Island. If he didn't, Luffy would not have such a skilled navigator. Next, Straw Hat's Frankie. He's a cyborg, an engineer and a fighter. He built the Thousand Sunny, which is supposed to be the most technologically advanced and strongest pirate ship. Basically the Batmobile of pirate ships. He built a submarine, General Frankie and some other techie stuffs, so it's safe to say he's very useful, but it's not impossible for Luffy to become king of pirates without him. So Frankie is very useful. I'm not putting him in the replaceable section because to find an engineer as good as Frankie might be impossible. And Frankie is the only one that saw the blueprint of Pluton, a battleship that is said to be powerful enough to destroy entire islands. If anyone could rebuild it, it's Frankie. Next, Straw Hat, Jimbe. Aside from diversity, what does bro even do? He's an helmsman, but the Straw Hat has survived countless battles with the oceans without him. They literally survived the knock-up stream going up to Skypiea, and they survived falling down from Skypiea. If you survived going to Skypiea and coming back, trust me bro, nothing can kill you. But with all that said, I won't say Jimbe is completely useless. He's the strongest fishman right now, so any battle that happens on or inside the ocean, Jimbe has a great advantage. Plus, the whole One Piece world will eventually be submerged into the ocean, and having the strongest fishman on your side would go a long way. On top of all that, Jimbe is a heavy hitter too. I can comfortably put him in very useful. Next, Straw Hat, Brook. His main contribution to the crew is being a musician. That's it. He's not even a heavy hitter. I would not want to put him in deadweight because even though he's not a heavy hitter, he's strong enough to at least stand his ground. He literally fought Big Mom and survived. Another reason I don't want to put Brook in deadweight is because he's the reason the Straw Hats were able to get a copy of Big Mom's poneglyphs. So I would say barely. Next, Straw Hat, Robin. Robin is arguably the most important Straw Hat, behind Luffy of course. She is the only one left in the whole One Piece world that can read poneglyphs. In case you don't know what poneglyphs are massive stones found throughout the One Piece world, carrying ancient inscriptions. They come in 3 different types: historical poneglyphs, which contains fragments of ancient history and messages from the past. Then we have instructional poneglyphs, which provides clues or instructions about finding historical poneglyphs. And finally, we have road poneglyphs, which reveals a location and collectively allows for the discovery of Laugh Tale. So for Luffy to become Pirate King, he needs someone to translate the poneglyphs. Without someone like Robin, every other pirate captain is essentially sailing blind, hoping they stumble onto the One Piece. You could have all 4 road poneglyphs on your ship, but without Robin, you're just collecting rocks with unreadable language. So we are putting Robin in the impossible section. Luffy could beat Emu, Kaido, Blackbeard at the same time, but without Robin, it's all pointless. And the last Straw Hat, Usopp. As much as I love Usopp, he's the most useless Straw Hat. Like, what does bro even do aside from goofing off with Luffy and Chopper? He brings no value whatsoever to the crew. Think about it, when was the last time Usopp did something really notable? In case you don't remember, I'll remind you, Dressrosa. Usopp hasn't done shit since Dressrosa arc. Dressrosa was around episode 800, and at the time I'm making this video, we are at episode 1131. Usopp hasn't done shit in over 331 episodes. Usopp hasn't done anything in 10 years, bruh. 10 good years, Usopp supporters have been starving. I'm not even trying to hate on Usopp, but he's not giving us anything to work with. And am I the only one who keeps wondering what happened to this version of Usopp that forced Luffy? Bro turned into fucking Batman fighting Luffy. There was even a moment in this fight I thought Usopp was going to win. If Oda kept this version of Usopp, he would have been overpowered as fuck right now, bro. Even admirals would fear him because he would be unpredictable and any slight mistake you make around him is GG's. But no, Oda had to make him a complete clown. He could have still been the Straw Hat clown, but when it's time to fight, he turns into Batman. But unfortunately, we would most likely never see this happen. So yes, Usopp is deadweight. There you have it, folks, the full list. Let me know if you agree with the placement, disagree with anything. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Share who you think is the most useless Straw Hats in the comments. See you in the next video. Peace.